Hello, this is Sybil Harmony, and this is a video about spirituality and energy and the upcoming energy of the full moon coming in July. There's so much going on. Weather, guidance, the value of being in neutrality, the value of being in amusement. And as you can see here, I'm sitting here in a different position than if you watch my videos. I moved because of the lighting. I ordered some lighting and it hasn't come in yet. So I thought maybe I'll just move around. So you can see back here, the top of her head is cut off, but I have a statue of Mother Mary, and that's from the Philippines. I believe it's made of some kind of resin, and that statue at night, or when I meditate and look at it, wait, I'm got to move up here. Okay, is I'm sitting in a salt circle that amplifies the energy. I like to pray in salt circles and work with. I live in the energy of the world of energy, spirit, and manifestation and magic. That's my whole life. That's why I came here, and to teach about love and healing and energy and spirituality. And I'm finally getting to do that. So I'm so grateful. Thank you for watching the video. But here you can see Mother Mary, her body. And then of course, obviously right here is a picture, a statue. It's a solid wood, knock on wood, high love, pointing to his heart. So this could also be about living in our heart center. And so that was hand carved in the Philippines as well. And they came from a place in the Philippines, Baguio, where there's a lot of healers. Some came from, Manila, that area. But the healers are more in the Baguio and island areas that I worked with. And so anyway, the statues have a lot of amazing energy. And I went to, I have a picture of me in a church that I spent over years meditating at in Baguio with a Mother Mary with a crystal in her heart. And the Filipino government tested, there was blood dripping from the crystal. And the Filipino government tested it, and it was human blood. And I'm not religious, but I'm very spiritual. And I have an excellent relationship, and anyone can, with these higher beings or other higher beings. I'm not against any religion. I'm just for spirit and love and healing. And so I wanted to talk to you. It's really nice to be in this energy. And you could kind of just look at the energy of this statue, since you can see him better than the Mother Mary. Actually, I work more with Magdalena, and I have a statue of her in the other room, but that's more like empowerment. She's more like empowerment for women. And Mother Mary is more about mothering, which is a really appropriate energy now with all these abortion. So she laws and really, which is about controlling women. And so Mother Mary lived in a time of Roman rule. We don't live in that, but it's trying to be, It seems like it. But so she knows about that and healing. And they studied to my teachings, they studied in the mystery schools, the Temple of Isis. So it really isn't about Christianity. These beings worked a lot with, although that's fine if you're a Christian, that's fine. But these beings worked a lot when they were here, also with the nature spirits. Magdalena is about empowering women and healing of sexuality, female power, healing relationships, where Mother Mary is more about healing the mother. She's also empowering of women, but mothering of all types. And of course, Yeshua, the Aramaic name of Jesus, is about manifesting and healing, and he worked with energy, to my belief, in a time where, and that's actually the way that I studied, was the way of Christ, which is the Christos, which are all these beings, even Hindu beings. So I don't want people to think oh, she's religious, there's Jesus. I'm spiritual. I do love Jesus. Okay. And I'm not against religion either. So that's fine if that's bringing you joy and peace and helping you live in a good energy vibration. That's great. And so let's talk about the weather. Whoa, the weather, really hot. I'll talk about guidance. How does guidance help you when you're dealing with extreme weather? Well, I live in California, and the days or weeks, there was one day in particular that was really bad. The air was orange, and the smoke was everywhere, and it was burning my eyes and my throat. I was having trouble breathing. It was making me feel really sick. And so I bought these air purifiers, and I sat in the house, and I remember one day just feeling like I just wanted to escape. I just wanted to get out of here, because I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I felt like the smoke was never ending, and it was just, well, it ended, but it just felt like I was having a hard time breathing, and I just felt like I want to get out of here. So I was in fight or flight. And so I sat in a meditation in a room with like 5 air purifiers blasting so I could breathe. And I sat there, which I manifested through, so that's another story. But so I just sat here and I said, what do I do? What do I do? Because I wanted to get in my car and drive away. And my guidance said, stay here. Just stay where you are. And I listened. I've learned to listen. I've learned that my forcing my will onto things or you making decisions out of fear or panic is never a good idea. And so that's one of the ways that higher guidance can help us here on this earth, is that I just sat there. And I sat there until I heard it, because until I felt it, you can hear it, you can feel it, you can see it, you can know a message, and I'll talk a little bit about that. I've done other videos about how to receive guidance, divine guidance, but so anyway, I just sat here, and when you're in anger or fear or panic, it's harder to hear your guides. Unless it's a life-threatening situation, it's harder to tune in. So what I did is I just realized my hair is the same color as the wood in my house. So anyway, so I just sat. And that's a spiritual tool that I've learned. If the guidance is coming, just ask and wait. Sometimes, like this morning, I was meditating. And I meditate for like 1 or 2 hours a day. Most people, 15 minutes is great. 15, 20 minutes, that's good. And I have meditation videos. I still haven't changed the music, sorry. But you can just sit in quiet and just listen to your breath, or do a walking meditation and just breathe and look at a tree or something. Look at bushes and trees and mountains and, So anyway, or beach. The beach is a great place to meditate, looking at the water. And so, and just your breath, and empty your mind. So anyway, so I sat there, and I knew, like this morning when I did my meditation, I kept waiting and waiting for something else. Like they would show me things, and I'd be like, okay, yeah, but what's that? And show me something else. Because I see visions. I hear things, but I also see visions. And I can kind of feel when the meditation's over, because I feel really good. I've like cleared everything out. Because I'm like clearing clients' energy, I'm clearing world energy, I'm just picking up family energy, whatever. And so I just sit and clear it, because that's the type of healer I am. And so until I feel really good. And then I kept meditating, and they said, well, time's up. And I was like, but you didn't tell me yet what is going to happen today or what I needed to know. And so I just trusted. They said, okay, time's up. Because it felt like I was asking, like, what do you want me to make the video about today? And there were all these different topics coming in. Because I just feel like there's so much happening now. So after I got up, sometimes this happens after a meditation, I got up and I was going about getting ready. So you just put one foot in front of the other, keep an attitude of amusement or neutrality, and do what I needed to do for my day, like get up, take a shower, and do, get my coffee, my tea, whatever. And so what happened was it started to become clear to me. And that can happen after a meditation, because it's like you're downloading the information, and then when it's ready, it'll just be there for you. So sometimes you can meditate and like nothing's happening. I used to sit and start to rock, and I thought, oh, I'm a crazy person. You know how those people rock? And I realized my body just needed to let go of stress, and I wasn't getting any angels appearing in front of me with dissertations and messages of, I was just needed to relax or rest. And so sometimes that can happen in a meditation. It's just about trusting the process. And so as I started going through my morning, I started to realize, oh, it's just a video about now, about everything, because everything's happening. There's so much happening. Like it's not really about one thing today. And that's cool. So I wanted to talk about, so during times of heat, I like, in heat, I like cucumbers are very cooling. They get rid of kidney stones, lower blood pressure. Watermelon is cooling. Salads. So don't eat like hot soup or cooked food when it's really hot. Of course, hydrate. And for me, I open the windows at night and cool the house. And then if I need to, I have an air conditioner I can turn on. But air conditioning is really not that good for you. It's not good to use it when it's not, unless it's really needed. Puts Freon in the environment or whatever. And it can pre-age you. Like I look much younger than my age because I meditate. So I and other things, but okay. So let's go to the weather. So a lot of people really hot in summer here in United States, especially in the southern states. And so if you tune in and ask your guidance, like I get a lot of people like, should I move? Should I move? First, come into alignment, come into balance. We don't want to run away from ourselves. And so back to being in amusement and being in alignment. And we'll do a little healing on that and talk about that. But so how you receive guidance, I've talked about this in other videos. But just say like, the dog's barking, she wants her treat. Sorry, she'll have to wait a few minutes. She already had breakfast. She knows it's the neighbor's dog. She knows I give her treats. Okay, so, or the tenant in back. So I have a rental in the back. So anyway, guidance comes in dreams. It can come to anyone who's asking, who is listening, who is paying attention, and you're always receiving a broadcast of love from your guides and deceased loved ones on the other side, and your higher self. You're always receiving a broadcast of love. But if you're too angry, too pissed off, too fearful, too rushing around, there's a million ways you can block guidance. Taking pills, overeating, being in arguments, being angry. And there's nothing wrong with being angry, because your anger can empower you to make positive change. But how long do you want to stay in anger? Because the human body isn't meant to be in a rage or resentments or it can like thrust you forward to take care of something or somebody or set a boundary or do something. But there's nothing wrong with your anger. It's like, is it your anger or is it anger looking for a cause? So some people have that. They're like anger looking for a reason because they're just kind of channeling those kinds of energies. And there's nothing wrong with that if you realize, wow, I'm complaining all the time, or I'm angry a lot, or I'm fearful. It just means you have energy in your space, and you don't have to live that way, because that's how we can better take care of ourselves, manifest. I worked with a client a couple weeks ago, and she's like, is the recession coming? I'm like, I don't think so. Well, my business has gone down. She's selling houses. My business has gone downhill. And then, so we did a healing for manifesting, and then she got the biggest client she's ever got. So everything is vibrating in energy. You are energy. Now, I also want to we'll talk about how we receive guidance in a minute, but I want to talk about, before I forget, because I'm really eclectic in the way I speak. I kind of jump around, but it's not boring. It's very informative. It just channels through, so the guides are channeling through. So I received a comment about somebody like, why is God letting bad things happen? Like, why do children get killed, or why is there war or illness? Okay, first of all, I don't make the rules. I'm so sorry, and I have the deepest compassion and, pray for your souls and everyone to have a good, healthy life, a peaceful life. And so that's first off. I'm so sorry. I have empathy and compassion, and I hope that someday we are a planet with peace, and where everyone is conscious and has loving kindness and helps each other, and there's no abuse or illness, because people are vibrating in a higher vibration of energy. And that's why I do this work. Okay, that's first off. The second off is maybe you have mistaken where you are, because that's what happens in heaven. So I told a story in another video about, and I'll briefly mention it now, about Atlantis. Or Lemuria. If you believe in that, I can't prove it, but I do, because I've been there in dreams and visions. So it may be a place or a dimension, but I believe it was here. And so in Lemuria, everyone was peaceful, helping, and sharing. But they didn't have strong boundaries. So they didn't have they had strong female energy, but they didn't have boundaries and limits. So what happened to Lemuria, when they were all being very nature connected, loving, sharing, and the natural laws of Earth so they came here, the Lemurians, and a lot of us are reincarnated Lemurians. They came here to teach humans, how do you live here? How to make this a good world. And they didn't have a lot of disease then, because a lot of viruses came through meteorites, or the misalignment and negative energy of humans that we create here. And when we're in alignment with it, then we're open for it. So that's why it's important to be in neutrality, which is here, or your abdomen, or your heart, which is love. Jesus shows us love. Or in your abdomen, where there's amusement below your belly button, in that center. So the Lemurians were here to teach us about love and harmony, balance and sharing. And then what happened is they didn't set boundaries, so they got contaminated, and they kind of just spread out. Okay? So then we had Atlantis. Atlantis was a more technological, more into crystals. They had groups of people who were into power in Atlantis. And they had a little bit more of the ego. But what Atlantis had was the thought police. So if anyone was thinking a negative thought, and then they stopped doing that, and then they destroyed themselves. So Atlantis had the thought police. So if anyone was thinking a negative thought, the thought police would come and go, excuse me, we seem to notice you're having negative thoughts, and we don't want you to have illness, accidents, war, or whatever, ego problems. So let's help you with that. And so they would assist people in not having negative thoughts. But what happened is people didn't grow and evolve. They just kind of stayed stuck. So that is heaven. Have you mistaken this planet for heaven? Because in heaven, we have no bills, no taxes, no illness, no wars, unconditional love. And so here on Earth, they did away with the thought police. And then Atlantis blew itself up because of a small group of people that were power hungry. Who does that remind you of? So who are in their egos and didn't care, like 2-year-olds, we want all the power and throw a temper tantrum and demand my way, even if I cause an insurrection. I still want my way because I'm going to have a giant adult temper tantrum in the government. Okay, so on this planet, we are in Earth school. And so anything goes because you're here to learn. So you have to understand that this is all a school and it's not even really real, even though it feels like you're real when you're here. It feels damn well real, like pain hurts. Poverty is abuse, all these things. But when we recognize that we are vibrating in energy, that doesn't have to be. Now, I want to do a little healing video, and camera's going to cut me off in 10 minutes, so I'm going to talk really quickly. So I hope that explains to people that God hasn't abandoned us. It isn't that it's just your understanding of like whatever you were taught about how God works and what we're doing here is not really, maybe you've mistaken where you are. So the game here is time and space. The game here is energy. The game here is to play a game. The game here is to be in amusement. And if you can't be amused or be in love, be in neutrality. So meditate and get into neutrality. And how you receive guidance can be from a bumper sticker, where your attention is drawn to. Ask and you shall receive. Then pay attention to your dreams. Symbolically, I understand symbolic language. So I see a sunflower, I know it means male energy, or now it means Ukraine. So I see, I feel like I need a candle or a crystal, and I look up, what does that mean? Or I have a book I wrote on this, like there's actually 5 clairs. The other one is smelling spirit, and then tasting spirit. So that's mostly in mediumship, tasting like what a deceased loved one food they made you, or smelling how their perfume smelled or their cigarette smelled. And so there are many ways to receive the guidance. It's just about sitting still or being quiet so that you can connect with what your soul or your guides are telling you. And that's why I said I just sat there in this meditation. Sometimes I'll sit until I receive it, and sometimes they'll just say, like, you're done. I'm like, okay, I guess I got it. Maybe I don't know. But I have faith and trust that I did get it, okay? So it's through clairvoyance, seeing spirit, clairaudience, hearing spirit, clairsentience, which is in your heart and your belly, feeling, or in your hands, touching. Some people touch things and feel energy. Like when you hug someone, how does that feel? When you hug yourself, how do you feel? Like, how do you feel? Everyone has that. Everyone has feelings. You can feel this place feels good. This day feels good. You can make the day feel good by saying, this is going to be a great day. And you can ground and be in your neutrality, your love, or your amusement. And so let's do that. And just, if you would close your eyes. So this is just a quick one. You could sit longer than this and just say hello to yourself as energy vibrating in spirit. Hello, beautiful spirit. Hello. Say hello to your body and breathe. So we always want to start with our breath because that's your power. And then just, if you would, kind of just flush the toilet. Like there was a toilet pipe connected to the bottom of your aura, because you got to have a release. Or you can let it just float away. Go, whatever isn't your energy, let it go. Beautiful. And then if you would, put your finger on your forehead. You may not have been here in a long time or ever. And draw a line about 3 inches back. So I have my finger in my center of my forehead. 3 or 4 inches back, that's the center of your head. So that is the moment of now. It is in the middle of your chakra, in the middle of your body. Hello? And breathe. And imagine that there is a line coming down the front of your spine all the way down to your tailbone, and then into that grounding cord, like a pipe or a tube, grounding into the center of the planet. So when you're grounded into the center of the planet, which you need earth energy to be in a body, you can release through the center of the cord or the pipe, and then allow energy to come up through the outside, energizing your body. And breathe. And then you're also connected to heaven, to the other side. So let light come down of your higher self or your guides all the way down from the other side into the top of your head. And just by illuminating the top of your head, your seventh chakra, you shift your energy to unmatch the mass grid of chaos or unhappiness or grievance or complaints or rage or fear. So let that light come in there. You might start to feel a little bit lightheaded. That's normal. It'll subside, and then you'll feel better. Like in 20 minutes, or if you do it a lot, it'll take a whole day. And let that light come in and clean out the center of your head. Bring both those energies to the center of your head. And when you're up here in this state of consciousness, let the guides or your energy just kind of clean out anything that's not in neutrality. So this is the place of the observer. So when you come into neutrality, you can observe yourself. You can observe yourself in difficult situations that maybe seem difficult, but it's only because you're there learning a lesson. So everything's about, what am I learning? And how do I get into neutrality? And then you'll know the action to take or not take because you're connected. And dropping down to your heart center in the center of your chest. This is the center of love, and send some love from the earth and the cosmic vibration, the higher vibration, into your heart love. Hello, body. I love you, body. And let it wash away the fear. As you can see, you instantly start to feel like, yeah, I'm in alignment. I'm in the vibration. So you could say yes to people. You could say yes to life. You could say yes to yourself. Sometimes saying no is love, too. Setting a boundary. And then dropping down into your belly, and let that breathe into below your belly button, your second chakra. I am in amusement. So be amused. Because remember, everything is just energy. It's here to teach you. And when you're vibrating in amusement, that which is likened is drawn. So enjoy this full moon. Thank you. Please like and subscribe to my videos. Share them with people. It really helps me. And be ready for the January 6th explosive things coming out next week. And be amused. Because we are going to a good place on Earth. We are here in Earth School. You are meant to experience all the contrast here. There is no death. There's nothing to be afraid about. So manifest that love while you're here now in a body. Bring in the love. Bring in the amusement. Bring in the neutrality. And so it is.